We're back. I am Joe.
And I'm Kokoy.
Together we are
TITOS with UKULELES.
And what do we have today?
Well, finally, Joe, we have upgraded ourselves thanks to your subs and likes. Yes, all our fans out there.
Yeah, we really appreciate all of the subs and the likes. Keeps us going. So
it keeps us buying more instruments for you to find out.
And once again, all the instruments that we feature here, they're part of our personal collection.
No one gives us one.
Yeah, no
We're
one gives us
welcome to
one.
receive one, but because we want to have a full and honest review, we decided to just go out and buy one, even if it's expensive.
And today we have something very shiny.
It's very nice, and currently the best stock in our collection. So far. It's nothing like a Hawaiian, as you can see. It doesn't look Hawaiian at all. But this is the MONTECITO, the top of the line for Fender line, unless you have some custom shop made. But that, you can rarely do that. But this is the MONTECITO. But let me remind you, this is the 2019 MONTECITO. Because the difference is that the new current MONTECITO have different design.
So I think they changed the shape of the headstock, right?
First of all, yes. This one has a Fender Telecaster type headstock with a Cluson style tuner. So this is the same tuners as you can find on their electric guitars. So Joe, this is the MONTECITO. Now, even if it sounds Italian, MONTECITO is actually a place in California because this is part of the California series for Fender. Now, the California series stretches out through their acoustic lines as well as their ukuleles. So the MONTECITO is named after a place in California. Like I said, this is the top of the line. Back then in 2019, they did not include a pickup.
On the new one, there is a pickup.
On the new one, they have the pickup, the Fender branded pickup, which in a previous review we did not like.
Yeah, so no big loss.
Yeah, but back in before 2019, you can actually get some of the limited editions Fender line, but they were partnered with Fishman at that time, which had the nice one inside the sonotone, I think. But that one was actually a better pickup than their current line. So and that doesn't have a hole, right? So the reason why this is nice is because you can tell that this is like a solid thing, almost likening it to a Hawaiian feeling ukulele.
So okay,
with all the curls.
So is this laminate or is it solid?
This is the 2019 line, and according to the current research remaining, this would be probably made out of koa.
Koa, solid.
If ever, solid koa, back and sides. Some models might have, some units might have come with acacia, but maybe that's between 2019 and now. But I believe this would be koa. As we can see, it is actually pretty well made. All the graining and etc. just really speaks quality. I mean, this is glossy, by the way. The new one, I think, is still glossy, but this one has all the gloss that you can ask for, and it matches particularly because you have a electric guitar feeling neck. Yeah. So you really have to kind of look at it as a sort of an acoustic tribute to an electric guitar.
Yeah, I just wish that for this one and this one, they had kept with the look and put a little skunk stripe right here, even though this has no truss rod. Just for the look.
Well, yeah, you can say that. However, I think the nice thing about this, okay, let's start with the binding, right? You have binding all over, and you can tell that the abalone is real. It's not like plastic. The binding is pretty much multi-layered. I can see at least seven lines in the binding on top. On the side, it's a singular plastic binding, of course, but on the back also you have a sort of a 4-ply binding. Plus, what did you call this one?
A heel plate?
Yeah, it has a plastic heel plate or binding. So if you put a skunk stripe there, in my opinion, if you put a skunk stripe, it could add to the Telecaster feel. Yeah, but they're really trying to copy sort of a Hawaiian feel. This is the MONTECITO. Before the MONTECITO, one of their top of the line is called the Nohea, which is beautiful in Hawaiian. And Nohea was the model that is most popular because some of the better players now, or if you ever listen to Train, the band, and listen to their music, the guitar player, Jimmy Stafford, uses a Nohea, which is what I had before I sold it, and which brings us to why I had to buy this to get that back.
I just wish they had put like a strap button on this.
Yes, that could be. If you were to play like Jimmy Stafford of the Train, you would like to have the strap on. If I'm not mistaken, maybe the Nohea, or the original special edition Train version, which they did have, a special signature series, that would have probably had a strap button. Now, the only problem I see on the neck is that it does have a scarf joint, which is what you call it when you put two pieces together. So it's not one whole solid piece of wood. This is because you had to put a brake angle as well.
Yeah.
So this is practically well built, but in a way it could have been better. What's this? Remind me what wood we have for the neck.
Natto.
Which is kind of a mahogany.
Eastern mahogany.
Yeah. So if you hear about mahogany, that is not what the Fender uses for their electric guitars. Never, I think. Usually you hear mahogany from Gibson.
Now, okay, so we have fret marks, fret dots on the 5th, 7th, 10th, 12th, and 15th with the corresponding marks here on the side.
Yes, and again, binding even all over the place. It's kind of fully bound, if you think about it.
Yeah. Now, Koy, are these the original strings?
No, Joe. These strings have been upgraded to match the beautiful color of our glossy whatever material.
So what were the original strings?
So the original strings, this is again 2019. So you could expect the original strings to be somewhere either, again, the usual
Aquila.
The usual Aquila probably. But right now I put Worth strings, if you've heard about them. Worth is a beautiful string maker because when you buy one packet of Worth, it is definitely worth it because it's worth two.
So
they give you enough string.
Yeah, so you can just cut it in half. It's good for two instruments. Now,
Except
except
that this has a longer, it has a longer neck.
And
So in a
headstock.
way, sorry, it has a longer. Well, in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
It has a longer headstock, which is kind of difficult. You really have to kind of really have to take the maybe if you they give you enough, but you have to really cut it right because
So,
otherwise
I
you
still-
might not have enough lead.
you're gonna lose a little out on the E and A.
Which takes the advantage when you have a no-tie bridge like this one.
Yeah, okay, now, speaking of the no-tie bridge, I noticed
Yes.
that your bridge,
Has a chip.
yeah, it's got a chip
I
there.
know. It's a chip of my shoulder that I cannot shake off. Okay, this bridge is supposed to be rosewood. It looks ebony, but according to details, it's probably rosewood. And when I did try to put one of those pickups where you put a pickup bar over here that you can wrap the strings around, don't use it on a no-tie bridge. Those brand K and A, don't use that because there's no place for the string to actually hold on to. What happened was that the tension of the string was pulling more up rather than through the whole length of the no-tie slot. What it did was to chip off the part of the end, which I cry a little bit. Then it revealed itself. The wood was kind of lighter on the inside, which means it is kind of rosewood, but they
stained.
probably stained it dark. Now, Fender, I cannot say, of course, of your method, but I did, from that experience, I would assume that it was stained because, yes, of that chip, that lighter wood on the inside.
So what did they use for the saddle and the nut? Is it bone?
Yes, the saddle, I believe, is bone. So usually, Fender does not use Graphtec or new bone and stuff like that. They usually have their own bone.
Okay, now,
But you wouldn't complain with all the... everything fits pretty right with this one.
the most important question. How does it sound? Yeah,
Well, of
looks,
course.
Yeah, looks are nice, but
Again, we would like to say that right now this is our most... for about $350 SRP. Again, the $350 now will get you the pickup. Which might tell you that, at $350 back then, this would have been a better instrument without that pickup. So the sound you will expect that it should sound close enough to those Hawaiians. So let's check it out.
Hey, we're back!
Joe, I have to take this away from your hands.
Yeah, okay, I'll be honest, during the sound sample, I tried my hand at it and I didn't want to let it go. Kokoy has it on video, me not wanting to let this go.
Well, that's why for this episode we did a double feature. No, we tried it out because I wanted him to try it out to let him experience the nice feel and sound. And right now we're kind of battling it out. But this is mine.
Well, knowing Coco, you might slip in that scene of me not wanting to let go in the post-credits.
Actually, I can kind of feel you putting pressure down on it. Come on, let it go a little bit. You can crush it down.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely this sounds sweet, nice, loud, and I don't know if it's the word strings. How do you feel? I felt when I was playing it, I just had to think flamenco, but I couldn't because that's not my skill level. So how about you? How did you feel when you held it?
Yeah, it felt good in spite of, well, the elongated headstock and the closed gear tuners feels balanced. Just a tad heavy here, but it's not a deal breaker. And oh yeah, you feel it. You feel everything here on this end just vibrating.
Well, they did say that the word strings sound melodic, but I think it's overall partly also the gloss, because when it's like matte, I always feel that it's like gonna be sticky, but gloss seems to like kind of really sweet sounding.
Yeah.
And this is just $350. I wouldn't even buy a Kamaka or a K brand now. I just have to have this and maybe 50 more.
He's saying that now, okay. He's saying that
No,
now.
I won't afford a Kamaka because I'd rather buy more instruments like this so we can review them. And wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yes, definitely, because we really haven't touched the Kamaka except maybe on a showroom. If you go to Japan or Dubai, yeah, you can touch it in the showroom. But that's different because this here is where you play. You play it inside your bedroom, your house, and when you play this instrument, it really it's inspiring. For me, I really like the Telecaster neck because I do make Telecasters. I don't make brand Telecaster. I make Telecaster style. But this definitely, it is definitely a Nohea.
Yeah.
Again, Montecito came after the Nohea, if I'm not mistaken, and it overtook it as their top of the line branding.
Yeah, well, here in Manila, we spotted two.
Yes,
Montecitos.
again, this is the 2019.
Yeah.
In some regions, like in Manila, where people don't really want to afford a brand like this because most buyers don't really want to buy that much for a ukulele with their kids playing it. So we still have some in stock in some of the stores here.
Yeah, so
Don't know about in your region.
Yeah, if you're coming to Manila, you're looking for a 2019
Vintage.
version, vintage. Basically, it's new old stock. Of the two here in Manila, I can tell you which is the better copy. Send us a comment. Or
Yes, definitely, because the new version that you will find probably in your shop now will have a Stratocaster headstock, which is more likened to the other lower models. One thing that makes this stand out, of course, is because it's a Telecaster headstock. And usually Telecaster headstocks are used on the better end models. But also because, again, you will get this without the pickup. So you can have your Fishman installed or some other nicer brand like Maisai, which is what they have on the Martin. So this one does not have the pickup, because if you get that pickup, which we deemed as bleep bleep, yeah, you cannot upgrade that one because there's a hole. So yes, if you find an old model like this one, even in you used, honestly, Joe, I bought this used. Okay, so when you buy this used in the US, they go through a sort of refurbishing so if you look into the sound hole, a used market would usually have its to make sure that it's actually factory refurbished, is the used one from Fender will have a gold sticker that covers the serial number.
Yep,
It should have a stamp here that stamps used, but nicely this didn't kind of take, so it's still smooth. But there's definitely sort of a stamp there that says used.
Yeah.
But again, when you get this, even at used, usually you'd find it maybe at least $200 to $300 still, because of the quality that you have here.
Yeah.
Wait, we forgot to tell them
Oh yeah.
that that when you bought this originally and if you buy the new one, hold this.
I got
It does come with a nice Fender padded bag. So for $350, you have a $50 bag. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. So I bought this used, didn't come with a bag, so I got this from another Fender. So this one will probably come with your new 2026 Montecito.
You know, it's honestly, it's so hard to find a fault with this uke.
The only fault it is that it's mine.
Yeah, you wouldn't let go. So, folks,
I wouldn't let go.
yeah. Well, folks, okay. You know, once again, we appreciate your likes, we appreciate your subs, keeps us going. So we look forward to seeing you in a future episode.
We would like to encourage you to find yourself one, because hey,
Okay,
right.
folks, we're gonna cut out and
Cut out and
before we
battle
say
it out.
2 men, do a tug of war with a uke.